I've decided to make my third batch of tomato ketchup. All local ingredients, all organic where possible, tomatoes from my mum. Yeah, and it's really simple. So I'll just try and simplify the stages and make it easy for everyone to understand. Okay, so the onions, red onions, because they're sweeter, just chopped up. But enough to help them break down. A shallot in there as well. Now the garlic I'm going to prep a little bit later, because I'm going to leave that until the tomatoes are well cooked down. So the garlic will go in there at the end just to preserve some of those essential oils, so you keep the goodness. So this, the onion and the shallot, is going to go in with some hot water. Back on the stove. And the water is just to stop everything burning. So that's just going to sit there, steeping away. Now the peppers, we're going to roast them. So I'll just put a little bit of little drizzle of olive oil on them. To act as a bit of, to help bake them. Now they're all shiny, and they're going to just get chucked into the oven, a hot oven, just in the tray until they blacken. And that blackening, that caramelisation is going to give them a lot of flavour. And that's a really roasting hot oven, or 3 logs, I think we're about. Okay, then our celery. Instead of putting celery salt in, we'll put celery. We're going to season it well at this. Once all the tomatoes are in, we'll then put most of the salt that we're going to use in the cooking into that. So the salt will help macerate and bring all the juices out of the tomatoes. And then I'm going to just prep the tomatoes, go through them all, make sure they're all clean, and then the tomatoes are going to go in on top of their hull. Okay, so we've got our tomatoes boiling away. We'll give them a stir, get lids on them, and let them cook down, and then I'll add the rest of the tomatoes to those two, and just cook them down really long and slow, and just careful not to burn them. Sea salt, chili flakes, some thyme, about equal amounts of thyme, maybe a little bit more sweet basil onto that, and then that with 3 dessert spoons of sea salt in there. Now it's important, salt, real salt, proper sea salt, local to you if possible, is really important in your diet. We'll find that out one day, I think. And now we'll cook them down. They've been cooking for about 10 minutes, so we'll cook them down even further. I've still got these tomatoes to add, and once we've reduced them down, we'll reduce them down by about half, and that's going to take another 3 hours. Now we've got the liquid rising up in the tomatoes, so they can be properly steeped in this in the pan now. These can be pushed down. And then give them another 10 minutes and I'll add the rest of the tomatoes. Okay, so I'll get the roast red peppers out. Now they're actually blackened. This is where you're going to get a lot of the flavour from. And then I'll just pull the stalk and the seeds out, and once the chutneys, the burnt myself. Once the ketchup is reduced down, then I'll add them to it. So there's enough volume in there to reduce down with the skins on, just the seed and the stalk removed. So just pull it out like that, and that'll obviously, some seed will be left in there, but the juices will be left in there too. Okay, so in three pans we've got the peppers and the juice from both pans, so they don't boil over and make a mess of the stove like I did on the last batch, because I left it with 3 logs and it turned out it needed it was a 2.5 log burn. So yeah, reduce all these, get them to a point where I can add the garlic, give it another half an hour, cook it down, the garlic will be chopped, and then that will then get pushed through a sieve and then put into a glass bowl and reduced over a bain-marie, over a pan of boiling water. And then the sugar, the spices and the cider vinegar will be added then. Okay, so this is the next evening. The tomatoes and the rest of the ingredients have all reduced down to 1 pan full. So this is now going to be put into a strainer bit by bit and pushed through this sieve to remove as much of the liquid as possible. It's a bit laborious, this job. You could give it a little blend with a food blitzer, but this way the seeds, you remove the seeds and all of the most of the pulp that way. Okay, so we've got a ketchup base now. We've got 10 dessert spoons of organic sugar. We've got a large teaspoon of smoked paprika, 2 spoons of teaspoons of cayenne pepper, a full teaspoon of cinnamon, ground cinnamon, a teaspoon of black pepper, and half a teaspoon of cumin. And then I'll also add about 7 dessert spoons of organic cider vinegar. And then this is going to get cooked slowly over a bowl of water until it just reduces down another sort of probably just over an inch. I'm going for 9 instead. That feels about right for that volume. And then just grab a whisk and whisk. Oh, and there's also 3 whole cloves in there as well. And then whisk that in, and then we'll bring that up to heat over a pan of a stainless steel pan of boiling water. So, to bottle up the chutney, what you must do is sterilise the jars. So boiling water, let them steam away. Okay, so now for the bottling up. Get your sterilised spoon. This is the best one I've got. Better off with the ladle. and fill it up to the top, so you take up any space for air. And then just follow and fill them all up. And then clean up the mess that you've made.